Anastasia, it's a treat to have you here. And when I'm saying that, I'm actually able to say that you are, we're being careful about being physically distant, so much so that you are outside, but you're under my carport because I can see that gorgeous carbon arc projector in the background there. Oh, yes, that was the first 35 millimeter projector used by the International Film Series. And it's very fitting that Anastasia should be in front of a projector since she is, our projectionist at the International Film Series. And hopefully someday we'll be able to return and she'll be able to project movies for us again in Munzinger. Until then, we are still doing virtual screenings. And I just happened to be reading the New York Times last week when I saw a really nice write-up for what's basically a documentary called Creem, America's Only Rock and Roll Magazine. It's directed by Scott Crawford, and it was produced by J.J. Kramer, who's the son of the founding publisher Barry Kramer, who was the publisher for Creem. And so I was intrigued and wanting to watch the documentary, even though I did not read Creem as a kid, but I always knew about it. And the thing about it is that I also, there's overlapping elements in terms of my childhood and Creem, because R. Crumb certainly, his animations really twisted my head around in fifth grade. And then I ended up reading Lester Bangs in junior high. And then I also published an underground newspaper when I was in college. And those are all elements that you get wrapped up in with Creem because, R. Crumb came up with the Boy Howdy logo that was the sort of the Creem mascot. And Lester Bangs was the music critic that elevated music criticism to such a level that all of a sudden everything changed. And the music that they really kind of brought to the forefront, it gets a little bit of coverage in the doc where, when they get compared to Rolling Stone, the thing about Rolling Stone was that it was basically formed by a wealthy kid, whereas Creem was a magazine that was put together by, sort of Detroit blue-collar people, and they actually paid attention to the punk scene, which, they supposedly one of the authors coined the word punk. It's a really fun watch, and I'm always excited and interested how Anastasia Matthews is not just the projectionist for the International Film Series, she's also a current student at CU Boulder. And I'm always curious, how does something like this register with, how does it register with you? Is this just old timey stuff, or, what's still interesting about it?
To me, this is a very fun documentary to watch. I had not heard of Creem until seeing this, but it's always fun to see these bands and these musicians that I love talking about this. And something that stood out to me about this documentary is it is very talking head in a sense, but it's not typical in a documentary to have one interviewee talking about a situation, and then in the very next shot, the next interviewee is calling that previous interview an asshole. It's not, there was a lot of discord happening that was just kind of fun to see play out. And so to me, it was fun in that sense. It was great to get to know some history that I hadn't known. The 70s was a very divisive time, and watching how this documentary interacted with the culture of that time was a great just joy to watch. Abrasive, but also constructive. It was just a whole turbulent time that was interesting to see. That it's not something that I think I've witnessed personally in my lifetime with the different magazines and publications. So it was cool to hear how that works.
You're witnessing right now a very turbulent time of a different sort. But no, the music is the music that gets covered by Creem. I mean, that's one of the other things that registers with me. It's just like with Alice Cooper, Iggy Pop, the Stooges, and then you also get you get Ted Nugent, and in fact, one of the things that gets pointed out is that it was basically kind of a bit of a jab in the side of Rolling Stone, because Rolling Stone was a magazine that was named after the Rolling Stones, and the publisher for Creem actually preferred the band Creem much more, so he kind of did his own homage to his favorite band. It's got some really good interviews too. It's got interviews with Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth, and Kirk Hammett from Metallica, Joan Jett, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley of Kiss, Ted Nugent, and director Cameron Crowe, who was also a film critic, of course. And it gives you some really interesting sort of views into this. Granted, some of the writing for Creem could be very adolescent in terms of the humor, and sometimes misogynistic. The review for the Runaways, that was painful to I mean, that review does not date well at all. At the same time, when they bring out Joan Jett and her response to the review, what she wrote in, it was perfect. And my respect for Joan Jett just went, that much higher after that.
And when I saw that too, I was very glad that a couple semesters ago at the IFS, I saw the Bad Reputation Joan Jett documentary. It was fun to kind of see that connection there too.
Yeah. So again, we'd like to remind anyone who's watching this that if you go to internationalfilmseries.com, we got a whole bunch of movies there. And if you click on those and you pay to watch them, and in this case, it's only $9.99, but the distributors are kind enough to split the profits with us, which is sort of a stopgap until we are able to go back into Munzinger, and we can actually create the bigger, broader events that we're really hungry to bring back. But until then, if you want to support the IFS or an art house in your particular neighborhood, you're able to do so thanks to these virtual screenings. And this one, Creem, America's only rock and roll magazine documentary, is if you're a music fan, if you like punk music, or if you just like 70s, music, it's very engaging. It's very fun. And it also, it's not just about music, because obviously we're talking about some pretty big characters, like Lester Bangs. I just gave Ana my junior high edition of my Lester Bangs book for her to have. And I'm interested what she has to say about that. But some of these personalities, of course, they're dead. They're not here anymore. Products of their time, and they go into the in the documentary. So I don't want to spoil too much there. But there's more than just music. There's also interesting personalities that are always kind of at war but having fun. And it's a dynamic story. It's very engaging. Check out Creem, America's only rock and roll magazine, at internationalfilmseries.com. Thanks for watching. Ana, thanks so much by the way, what do you think of this thing?
Oh, it's great. I've been enjoying it. It's very strong, but in its flavors, but it's fantastic.
Oh, it's the nut comes out for sure. It's All right. Well, thanks again for coming by.
Thank you.
And we'll see you maybe next week. I'm not sure what we'll discuss then, but we'll find something. All right. Hey, toast to you, Ana, for
Cheers.
coming out. Cheers. Take care.
Thank you.